I don't know about you, but it's the holiday season, and this time of year, that's when I like to plan most of my racing for the next 12 months. My own racing is usually done, and I'm ready to start thinking about where I want to go next. But the problem is, by this time of year, a lot of the biggest races have long sold out or the lotteries have long closed. So the only way that I've been able to run all the races that I've been able to run is with a tour operator.
So how does this work? Well, it's because at big races, there are 4 kinds of bibs. There's just the general bibs, like signing up for a race before it sells out or applying for a lottery. And then the second kind of bib is a charity bib, which I'm sure you guys are familiar with, where you agree to raise a certain number of funds in order to run for that charity and get a bib for the race. I've done this a few times. And then there are sponsor bibs, which is a very small number of bibs, which if you are a company that is sponsoring the race as part of your sponsorship package, you might get a handful of bibs that you can give out as you see fit. Sometimes it's to employees of the company, other times it's to influencers. This is where influencer bibs come from. And then the fourth kind of bib is those that are assigned or purchased by tour operators. Now, what a tour operator can do is they can provide you with a guaranteed bib, which for a lot of people is the most important thing. The tour operator that I am the most familiar with is Sports Tours. I've gone with them on 4 different international trips. I've gone with them to London, Berlin, Sydney, and I just got back from a trip to Valencia with them. And they have been a sponsor for all of my trips, and I've made race vlogs for all of those different trips. They don't always review everything that I publish, but they are reviewing this video, and they are going to be paying me to make this video.
So with that disclosure out of the way, let's go over everything that a sports tour package provides, and I'll go over some of the highlights from all my experiences with sports tours. They're going to get you that guaranteed bib, a hotel, a welcome reception, excursions, a shakeout run, a race briefing, escort to the expo in case you don't want to go by yourself, transportation to and from the race, and a post-race party. First, let's talk about the bib.
As far as bibs go, Sports Tours was super clutch because every bib I got with them, I got after lotteries had closed or after the races had sold out. But certain ones were more special to me than others. Berlin, I'd say, is the most special because that was where I got my 6th star. But Sydney was also pretty special too because I went to Sydney the first year it became a major, and that's where I got my 7th star. Next, let's talk about hotels. Sports Tours usually does a really good job of selecting a hotel that's very nice in a safe neighborhood and that is going to be very comfortable for you. Most of them have been pretty big as far as American standards go. But I'd say the 2 hotels that I enjoyed the most were the ones that had the best locations. And so the Sydney hotel was very comfortable, but it was also very centrally located. I was able to take public transportation basically right outside the door and also walk to and from the expo, walk to the Sydney Opera House, and then also walk back from the finish line. Berlin was similar in that it was really close to the start and finish, and it also was very easy to do a lot of sightseeing, both from right around the hotel, but also in terms of access to public transportation, so you get all over the city. And some of the tours have excursions that are available. Some of the ones that I thought were most memorable were at Sydney, where we took a 3-hour boat tour where there was a really nice lunch and also gorgeous views of Sydney Harbor, the Opera House, and the rest of the Sydney skyline. And then if you are the kind of person that loves to travel to a new city and learn a bunch of historical facts, the bus tour is the trip that you should have gone on, where we got to learn a lot about the history of the growth of Sydney. Plus, it ended in Bondi Beach, which is a must-visit location when you're in Sydney. So next, let's talk about the shakeout run. They will organize a group shakeout run. So in case you're worried about not knowing where to go run, if you're worried about safety, being safe in numbers, or just want a pace group, or just don't want to have to think about it on your own, Sports Tours organizes all that for you the day before the race. Some of my favorite ones were from when we were in Berlin. That one was basically like a photo hunt. We went from monument to monument, and we even saw some of the pros going out for their shakeout run that day. In London, we ran on a really lovely and scenic park. And then for Valencia, it was like all business, because that's what you do when you go to Valencia. You go there to run fast, in and out. It was just around the block, a little bit under 5K. Day before the race was perfect. After the shakeout run, there is usually a course briefing where they will tell you logistics, like how you're going to get to the race, what time you need to get up, what time breakfast starts. There's always breakfast arranged at the hotel, no matter how early you need to have breakfast for race day. And then they have someone who's familiar with the course to give you a guide on what to expect, course profile, elevation, where the aid stations are. For London, Yimi gave an excellent course overview, and Yimi is also obsessed with getting really good race day photos, so he knew where all of the best photo op spots would be and where the photographers would be. So you're pretty much guaranteed to get a good race day photo if you listen to what Yimi says to do in terms of staying on runner's left or runner's right, or when to make sure you're looking up and looking like you're running fast, even if you're hurting on race day. And then after we go through the course briefing, which also includes information for where your supporters will go and how often they'll be able to see you on the course. Of course, you don't have to stay with the sports tours group when it comes to being a supporter and cheering on your runner, but they do have experience on places that are convenient where you will be able to see your runner as many times as possible. And then at this point, if you haven't gone already, they will arrange for everyone to go to the expo together. They'll escort you there or escort you to the trains that you'll need to get on to get there. So that way, again, if you don't want to do something by yourself, if you're worried about getting lost, maybe there's a language barrier, there'll be people to go with or people that will take you there. When it comes to actual race day, Sports Tours comes in clutch with transportation to or to and from the starting line. For London, there's buses that picked us up right at our hotels, took us right up to the starting line corrals area, which was super convenient because it's pretty far away. And then for Valencia, there was buses that took us both to and from the start and finish line of the race, which was also really cool because that was like a 45 minute bus ride, and so it was really nice to be able to have transportation secured ahead of time so you don't have to try and figure that out after you've run a marathon. And then once you get back from the marathon, there's a little celebration, of course, a little bit of an after party. Some of them are bigger than others, but for Berlin and Sydney, these were full-blown parties. In Berlin, they rented out the second floor of the Hofbrauhaus, and there was a traditional German band, pretzels. It was like a mini Oktoberfest party after the race, which I thought was fantastic. And then after Sydney, they rented out a restaurant that was multiple levels tall that had food, a live band, and plenty of seating so you could get off your feet and properly celebrate with a nighttime view of Sydney Harbour. So whether you are just looking for a way to get that international bib, or whether you are looking to make a bunch of new friends on an international race adventure, check out Sports Tours. It's worked out really well for me. Hope you guys can enjoy it too.